As much as I love it, I'm really glad I found a way out of it. The place has all changed quite a bit now. I'm not familiar with who lives around here anymore, but boy, those feelings sure are the same. When I'm here, the feeling I get is that home is just right over there. And no matter what happens, home is just right over there. Family, my soul, my blood is here. When you live in a place like this and you're seeing people get killed and they're fighting, and it's such a depressed area that of course there's the tensions that brings on between people. I think the music being the counter of that. Music is exactly the opposite. There's a lot of volatility in the relationships. You can imagine my mom, my dad, marrying at an early age, having to make it work in a depressed place at that time. Often I would end up here at my aunt and uncle's house and away from the fray, and I always felt so safe here. Like these people really loved me and they watched out for me like my mom and my dad and my grandma. And the fact that it was a musical house too. My uncle would always have his amplifier going, and he had that electric guitar or an old banged up acoustic guitar, but there was always music going. And the fact that this piano was here and that my uncle was a musician himself, this was like the schoolroom here. You could come here and practice and get advice and get tips about how to play. My uncle played all the time. It was basically a blues style. But when I heard that guy playing that jazz, that really impressed me. And the guy he had a certain amount of respect just from playing that music, and somehow I could tell that people respected that a little more, because it showed a certain amount of intelligence and stick-to-itiveness to to hone that craft and that skill. And I was shown that up close and personal right here in that room right there. There was a party at my house. I was probably 4 years old, 5, and my uncle was playing the boogie-woogie the whole time. They were partying and my dad was playing the harmonica, and I watched my uncle play for a couple hours, and then when he got up, I went over to the piano and I kind of poked out the bass, and they all stopped and they said, "Well, he's a piano player." And I guess I've been doing it ever since then. It's as challenging as it is with anyone, and you feel a real special challenge to help a young person, usually it's a young person, navigate their way through with all the things that could be problems for you. I had a student. He was a pastor, I believe, and after a couple of weeks of studying with me, he came back and he said, "I can't do this." He said, "The music is just too powerful. It's playing in my head all the time, and I can't handle that." But for me, see, I love that. That's the thing that's telling me I'm a musician. That's the thing that's telling me, yeah, deal with the sounds, because they're always there. But it doesn't work the same for everybody.
He's always just been really a friend, you know. I never really thought of him as a piano teacher, you know. I don't know, I had some crazy stuff going on throughout, you know, my life, and he's always been there just as a friend. He kind of taught me how to play music, and, you know, music's always been something that is important, you know, throughout my life.
The last two chords, same chords that held on.
A lot of like good conversations about just like, I don't know, life in general, you know, like the more of like an objective point of view, you know, what's really going on in the world, you know, like kind of like people, you know, stuff we talk about, you know, people like probably like inside of people's comfort zones, you know, just like, you know, just like beyond like what's like perceived as reality, you know, like I don't know, just like. And there's only a couple people in my life I can actually get real with, you know, like what's really going on in the world, like, and share, like, express myself, like, truly, you know, and he's one of them.
I work better when I can teach myself and when I can discover things on my own. But the thing about Mel is that he knows when to teach, and he knows when to like let me kind of do my own thing and like discover music and things about music on my own. Right now, I couldn't imagine myself taking piano from any other teacher, because it's just like Mel's not only my teacher, but he's like my friend, and I've known him for like a couple of years, and he's been a mentor to me in ways. He's been a role model, and Mel is just like, I don't know, the way he teaches is kind of, I guess you could compare it to how jazz is, because jazz is basically, bottom line, it's just creativity. Yeah, he's not teaching me, he's teaching me how to teach myself.
He's more than just a piano teacher. He's more like a second father to me, and it's kind of nice coming here and not having it just about piano. It's more, he talks to me about life, and he, you know, is a really good support group for me, because it's nice knowing that someone really cares for me like a daughter as well, and not just a student. Because sometimes, you know, piano's scheduled on a certain day, and so maybe I'm not feeling so great that day. It's nice I don't have to come in and feel pressure like, oh, you know, I have to act normal and play piano. It's where I can talk with him and he can share me stories. So it's not all about music, although that's a big part, but it's nice. It's like he's like a mentor to me.
My daughter's been asking to play the piano since she's 4, and she's 6 now, or 6.5, and I'm thinking about having her take lessons, and got Mel's number, called him, met him, and the relationship blossomed from there. Heidi really took to him. He has a really wonderful way of instructing kids and correcting them when they're wrong in a positive way, which was very impressive.
Yeah. Yes. just quarter notes. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, yeah, like that. And then right back in. Try that line one more time. Yeah, that's it.
Mel has made a tremendous change in our life, and that we appreciate music, and we're watching our daughter blossom, and to walk over to the piano, she just lights up, and it's a really beautiful thing to see.
I'm 97, I think. If it weren't for Mel's interest, his crazy ways of dealing with a miserable idiot, it was fantastic to be with him.
Play tunes.
Yeah, we just he teaches me by playing with me, which is sick.
I should tell you that usually Joe will show me a thing or two, and we have to wonder who's really teaching who here. Who's teaching whom?
Those chords.
He's improved my playing unbelievable amount, influenced my playing an unbelievable amount.
No, it's in your genes.
Well, I take 2 lessons a week, so you've definitely improved my style tons. Yeah, you've opened me, so I'm now open to new music, play different kinds of music. You've definitely helped me sort of find my style of playing. Yeah, so you taught me the basics at the beginning, and now you've really sort of started to get down to finding the way that I play and finding me as a musician, and that's really helped. I started playing because there was a piano in the house that we were in, and I had a teacher for a year, and I learned classical music. And she basically let me go because I kept sort of learning jazz licks instead of classical, and then I went to Mel, and I still play some classical, and Mel definitely helps me in all areas, classical, jazz, everything, but I basically got drawn to jazz, and then...
What was it about the jazz you liked?
The freedom of it. Classical music is you play how it's written, and you play scales like this, and you play, you have to know certain things to play it, whereas in jazz it's more like, you should do this, but you can do this, or you change it, there's differences. I think the people that you listen to and the people that teach you and basically sort of who influence you, I think that's where it comes from. I mean, I listen to a lot of Oscar Peterson and obviously I listen to a lot of Mel, so when Mel will teach me certain licks and then I'll listen to Oscar Peterson and listen to certain licks and I'll listen to Tigran Hamasyan and hear stuff that he plays, and then it's what I feel naturally about, sort of, it's, so the way that I play is basically a mixture of me, of sort of Mel's stuff, it's of Oscar Peterson stuff, it's of all these players, and yeah, so certain tunes that you play really impact the way that you improvise and make things up.
Music means a lot, very deeply to my mom, and she's always singing gospel tunes, and just from as far back as I can remember. And I know that a lot of my deepest feeling for music, those emotions that I think get transferred sort of when you're in the womb before you're born, even, I'm sure I got from my mother before I ever thought of being a musician, or before I even knew what music was. Sure, I've always been interested in that idea that the Greeks had, that music could actually make you a better person. Through the enjoyment of music, through the study of music, through listening to music, can make you a better person. Somehow there's a combination. It has to do with numbers and frequencies and vibrations throughout the whole universe that hold true, and somehow the music, somehow the music is connected to that. And I feel when I hit on a really good sound, that something that's vibrating from deep down within me, that it's somehow touching on that relationship in the whole universe, frequencies and vibrations and numbers and kids that study with me, it seems like they get, I can't put my finger on exactly what they get from the music, but I guess the ones that are leaning towards the dark side get a good release, and the other ones get a way to express themselves.